Welcome back everyone, my name is Shimam Agarwal and this is the third part of our bank exit prediction model in artificial neural network deep learning with Python. In this video, we'll see how to deploy our model that we created in the last video. We have created a file called as bankexit.h5. We have saved it and I told you how to download this file using Kaggle community platform. We'll be using this h5 file to create our Streamlit application and execute it on our web portal. Okay, so for creating the web application, I will be using something called as Google Colaboratory. So the Streamlit application cannot be executed on Kaggle community platform. However, you don't need still to install or download those repositories or APIs or commands on your local system. I have another platform that is called Google Colaboratory that can utilize all of those things and create our Streamlit application. Okay, so I have mentioned the link to this Google Colaboratory in the description down below. You can use this new notebook option right here in the file menu to create a notebook for yourself. Remember to sign in with your Google account because this is Google Colaboratory. You can sign it and implement your Google Drive over here. Okay, so we'll create our Streamlit application on Google Colaboratory, which will not require any hardware or software requirements. We'll install everything required on Google Colaboratory itself. It will not affect the hardware of your local system. Okay, so let us start with this video and the deployment part. We already have h5 file with us that will include. For starting this session, we have to connect it. You must have an internet connection to you. I will say connect this and it will allocate all the resources to me. Okay. Nextly, what I want to do is I want to upload that h5 file because I will be using that model for deployment also. Okay. So it has allocated me some RAM, disk and other resources. On this file menu, you can see an upload file option. Okay. On the left hand side on this menu, you see this file option. If you click over here, you will see this upload icon. On this icon, if you click, you will be able to browse all the files. I will say that bankexit.h5 is the model that I have created. I want to upload it. Okay. Make sure that it is uploaded. Yeah, so our file is uploaded right there. I'll just close it for now. What I want to do is I want to deploy the model. So let us import some required libraries first. For the sake of importing, I will import NumPy and Pandas. Okay, so I'll import these two things. Nextly, what I want is Streamlit. So on Google Colaboratory, Streamlit is not already installed. We have to install it externally. To install it, just you have to write a simple command, !pip install, like you install it in the local system. Then you have to mention -q and then Streamlit. Okay, this will install the Streamlit on the Google Colaboratory. Let us execute this cell and wait for it to install. It will be installed in quite a few seconds based on your internet connection speed. As you can see, it is installed. Just few more seconds. Yeah, so it is installed. Next, what we want to do is we want to create the model, or we want to load the model. So we have to import keras. We have to import sequential model, or I'll say that yeah, a sequential model is not necessary, just keras will be fine. Next, let us write a Streamlit code. So whenever we create a Streamlit file, we have to write Python code for Streamlit application. For that, what you have to do is you have to create a Python file called app.py. You have to write a file called as app.py. For writing this file on Google Colaboratory, use $%sign. This will create a file. After this, just write file. Okay, this is a command that will write a file called as app.py. Put a space and say app.py. Right. Hit an enter and your file will be started. Now what you want to do is you want to first load that model, that h5 file, and you want to predict all those things. Now to load that model, I will say import keras inside this file also. Next, I want load model. So from Keras, there's a library called as models, and I'll say import load model from it. This load model module, this module will help us to load the H5 file from the database. Okay. Next, what we require is we want to load that model. I will say model equals our file. Model equals load model, and we have to specify the path to it. How will get the path? Here, if you see bank exit, you'll see 3 dots over here. Go over here, click on this, and you'll see an option called as copy path. You just copy the path and paste it right over here. So this will copy all the things. Okay, we have to write all those things inside the single cell because this is app.py file. This is not a single statement alone. These are all a grouped statement inside app.py. So remember, don't exit the cell while writing it. Okay. Next, what we want to do is we want to create an Streamlit UI application. So I want to import Streamlit. We have already downloaded it and installed it, so we can directly import Streamlit. I want to import it as st. Okay. Next, we want to create the UI. How to create the UI? We'll say that what are the characteristics that we want, what are the features that we want. In the dataset, you can see there is credit score, geography, gender, and all of those things. So we have to create input box for each of those things so that user can input a integer value. Okay. So I'll say that a variable called as credit, and from Streamlit, I want to deploy a text box. So for text box, you have something called as number input inside Streamlit. Using this st.number input, you can create a text box. Inside this, if you write anything, it will be displayed to the user what our UI is expecting. So I'll say credit score. Our model is expecting a credit score over here. Okay. Similarly, I will create 9 more options, input options. I'll just copy everything. Okay. So I'll say next one was probably we have geography, gender, age, tenure, balance. So we have geography, gender, age, we want tenure, and we want balance. Next, what we want is products, card, and active member. Products, card, active member, and similarly we want something for salary also. So I'll say salary. Okay. Inside this, I will mention it one by one. For salary, this is active or not, right? So I'll say is active. In this box, I'll say has card or not. I'm expecting the user to input whatever I want in integer format. If you want, you can apply some validation also over here. Okay. But for creation of the project, I'm just using 0, 1 and integer like balances. Okay. Balance. Then we have tenure. This is taking a little bit. Just age. Next I want is gender. Specify 0 for female, 1 for male, and we have location. I specify 0 is France, 1 is Spain, and 2 is Germany. Okay. Germany. Yeah, that is like that. And I want to say credit score. Yeah. So the variables for input fields are already created. What we want to do is we want to create the list also. I'll create the list in the starting only. I will say A equals 10 features we want. So I'll say you have 10 features. I have 8 till now and 10. So we'll have to update each of these values with the values that we have input from the user. Okay, I have a list as A. and we have to update all of these a values according to the values that we get from the user. Okay, so how I will do it? I will just say that a of 0 will be equals to credit. Okay, so whenever there is a change in credit, a of 0 will be updated. Okay, that is how I will update all the values. I'll just copy it and I will paste it again and again. Remember, if you name all of these in a special fashion, you can use a loop also. I am not using loop right here. So that is taking me some time. I will say 1, 2, 3, and it will go up to 9. Okay, so that will be GEO. This will be gender. Next will be age. The next will be tenure. Then will be our balance. Then products. We have card, and we have activation and salary. Active member or salary. Right? So we have all of those things. Lastly, what we want to do is we want to predict the values based on these values. So I'll say that my output variable will be output, and I'll say that model, because the variable that we are using is model over here, model dot predict based on our values. We have to supply a. Remember to supply a inside this square brackets, because we were using a single list and our model is expecting a column, not a row. Okay, so we have to supply a inside this square brackets. Then we have to just write the output. So I'll say st.write, because user must know what is the output for the values that he has input. So I'll say that output will be the output variable. This output inside the single quotes will be printed, and this is the output variable that will be next to it. Okay, so this will create our app.py file. That is it. Let us write this file. I think there is no issue. Executing this cell, it will write the file. Okay, so our file app.py is ready. We want to create the Streamlit running application for it. To run this Streamlit application, what you have to do is you have to write exclamation mark Streamlit, and you have to say run. Next, you have to specify the path, that will be /content/app.py, and you have to specify a gen1 command. Okay, that command is ampersand greater than sign. You just have to copy this command again and again. This is available all over the internet. If you want to see how to run Streamlit application on Google Colab, you can find it over internet. Okay, this command is common. You can find it anywhere. So I'm just writing it content, and is followed by logs.txt followed by an and command. Okay, this will run your Streamlit file. If you execute it, your Streamlit file must be running on the server. To see that server, what you have to do is you have to create an npx tunnel. So you want to create npx tunnel, so you say not npx local tunnel, and what you want is you have to specify the port. That is, port is 8501. Let us say that 8501. You can vary this port also. So I'll say, yeah, execute it. I think that npx is already installed, so it will run. If the npx is not installed, it won't run. To install this local tunnel, npm install local tunnel, so that your local tunnel will work. So I'll say, yeah, let us execute this cell also. It will quickly install the local tunnel. Once it is done, you can load this command that I already told you. Next, you have to put this local port. Okay, exposing this 8501 will give you a URL. This URL is of a tunnel website, that if you go to this tunnel website, you will see your Streamlit application running. Due to constraint of this video, I will not be able to see this website right here while recording, but when you click on this link, the provided link over here, you will see your website running with 10 input fields and an output field. You can vary the values in the input field, and that is how you will deploy your model. Now I'll give you an assignment that you watch previous 4 projects also and try to deploy all of these using this method. Okay, this is Streamlit, and it is one of the most common and one of the most easiest methods to deploy a model. Okay, whether it is artificial neural network, convolutional neural network, or any machine learning model, you can deploy it using Streamlit. Okay, that is how it will work. That is it for this video. Thank you. We'll see another project soon, so keep it up.